like, we had, like, fantasy and graphic novels. I'm like, yeah, nonfiction.
And we end with nonfiction.
Yeah, and, like, oh, that's a nice end to the quarter. But no, like, I feel like reading these books this week just kind of changed my perspective a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Yeah, like showing that if you find the right books, that nonfiction can be really entertaining. And, like, it has, like, that same kind of relatability because it's real life, but then it's like a story, but then you're like, oh, wow, this actually happened kind of thing. And I was just thinking throughout reading these books, like, just how important it is to teach kids that nonfiction and biographies can be really entertaining and something you can just pick up. Because, like, I remember all throughout school, I was just like, ugh, nonfiction. Forget that noise. I'm gonna go read Harry Potter. So it's just, that was kind of
nonfiction.
Oh yeah, Harry Potter was real. Didn't you know? Yeah, I mean, come on, it takes place in London. London is real.
Come on, going through a wall to platform 93.
Of course.
I've actually been to that station, and like they had like the cart in the wall. It's so cool. I have like pictures of it. It's so great.
That's brilliant.
Oh,
Okay, continue.
brilliant. But oh yeah, weren't we gonna do this whole thing in a British accent? Oh well, yeah.
That's alright.
That's all right then.
Keep going.
Keep going then. No, but yeah. So that was my reaction. It's just like, yay,
It's a wonderful
nonfiction.
reaction.
Oh, thank you though. So what were you going to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Want some more?
Oh, no, I shared my reaction. I just liked reading and like, I'm not going into
Okay,
the
that's fine.
You're all good.
Do what you need.
But yeah, I just enjoyed like the storyline and how like it kept my attention like with each twist and turn in like Jamila's life and.
I really enjoyed that. I just changed accents.
Mm.
But
I do like your accent now,
I
ma'am.
like it. So we go back. So Eleanor, what did you think of Eleanor?
I would have liked to hear the whole book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that she was like summarizing each page, which I mean it was really long, but I think I would have gotten a little bit more out of it.
But I did like that it included quotes that she said. It made it feel like
More real.
more real and factual, and like you were actually in her life, kind of.
Whoa.
You kind of put more power behind the words, I think.
The pictures I remember were really good too.
Yeah, that was kind of what I know.
I like being able to look at the picture and listen to the words. And
Yeah.
Okay, The Cat with the Yellow Star. I really enjoyed myself in that book. I
Yeah.
was really surprised that it was kind of more of a children's book.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But the storyline was really interesting because we were able to follow her life, you know, how she got to the concentration camp and the people she met. And I really loved the end when she was like reconnecting with these girls that she hasn't seen in forever. And like those photographs, and it's like, oh,
I know, right?
I love the images that they chose to like include, like the pictures of like the street in the camp when they first introduced it.
A little bit more real.
Yeah, I was almost thinking that like sometimes a photograph when you have photographs, and especially that kind of book, like the ones that were actually true.
More authentic.
Yeah, you almost connect with it more. Because like you're like, wow, this was actually a real person, like a kid just like me, and like when it was talking about like her friends and her family and like all those like real life experiences that you can relate to.
And in the back of the book it was like she's still doing lectures across the world, and I love the fact that she was getting invited to musicals.
Yeah.
They like invited her in to watch the musicals, and she met the cat. I was like, that is so cute. Stop.
Yeah.
This is too much.
She still has her yellow star. And
I would like, if I had a symbol like that, I would not be able to wear it. Like after going through that, I would trash it, like burn it.
I feel like I would keep it, but just keep it away, you know, like kind of not letting go of that, but like at the same time, like
remember what you went through, what you like
survived.
Kind of like I don't even know. I've never put it on myself ever again.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But yeah, I did a lot of my my mirror and window on this book because I was, yeah. So do we want to move on
Sure.
to that lovely section?
Sure, you're a mirror.
Oh boy, can I? Yeah. It's the end of the quarter. I know, like I reached that point in the quarter where I was in Zoe's last night, and all of a sudden I was with my friend and we just started singing a country western version of "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my roommate was singing Let It Go to me, and she was like trying to do all the hair flips.
Yeah,
She
like,
like,
hold on.
just got out of the shower.
Hold on,
like,
you
what are
gotta
doing
do-
with your life?
You gotta do it like this, yeah.
Yeah, she was like, wait, it's coming. You're strange.
Anyway, so my
Continue.
mirror, I really related and connected with the part where they were where the kids were using art as a way to deal with a difficult situation, and like they're finding solace in drawing and writing poetry, and then of course like the opera or play that they did, that was such a big escape, but also very symbolic to them, like. So I connected a lot with that because I use drawing and art as a way to relieve stress for me. Like just the other night, it was like super late and I'd been doing homework all day, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just drop everything right now. I'm just gonna draw. And so I just drew for an hour, and I felt,
That's so cool. You can just do that.
yeah, and like I just felt so much better afterwards. I'm just like, okay, now I can go back to homework. So just like using, like it's something we've been focusing on in some of my classes about using poetry as like a way to express and stuff like that. So like I just connected a lot to the like artistic stress relieving in the book. It's like I know her troubles were a bit more drastic than mine, but I still connected with that. So I feel like that's also something you could do with kids, like bring out that part of the story if you read that with them, you know, like see how the kids use art to deal with a difficult situation. We can do that too. So yeah, so that's my mirror.
I usually do like exercise.
Oh yeah, I want to go to the gym so bad.
I'm so mad.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so
My mirror was to wanting more.
Mm.
And I related to Jamelia and like her journey and like about finding where she belonged and like maturing with each like struggle she faced. And just how like I've gone through life, like I may not have faced as extreme of life changes as her,
right, yeah.
but like I've had obstacles in my life, and just like with each one like gaining more wisdom and like maturing and like finding like who I am and like what I would do and want to do with my life, and yeah,
That's a good connection, yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's something you can really relate to in a lot of biographies and stuff. It's just like they're overcoming challenges. I feel like that's one of the main points of a biography, is to show like, look at, this is real stuff, they overcame it, you can overcome it too. So that's good to hear.
I mostly saw myself in Cat Bale Star. Her name I thought was Ella.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ella? Okay. It was kind of hard for me to create a mirror with this story, just because, you know, it's really hard to relate to somebody who went through that kind of experience where I like haven't been through anything like that, and hopefully I will never be in that situation.
Yeah.
But I kind of talked about like the feeling of being victimized for your own religion.
Yeah, interesting.
I had this
Love that.
experience in the dorms where there was a girl who was living next to me who just didn't believe in Judaism. So like I understand that like people don't believe in the same beliefs as other ones. That was a really weird sense, but it's still important to at least respect everyone's decisions.
Yeah.
And she was just not good about it, and it really wanted me to like hate her so badly, but I didn't. And it was just really hard for me to just overcome the fact that like someone living so close to me really just didn't like that part of me.
Did she like call you out or something like that?
She didn't know I was Jewish for a while. So, and once she realized it, she kind of like slowed down on it, but it was still.
Yeah, you can't really take that back.
Say things. It's really rude, but she was like, my dad said that he'd rather I be pregnant with a black man's baby than a Jew's. I was like,
whoa, that's like double whammy, you know?
Oh my god, like you can't say things like that. Like,
Oh.
it's okay if you believe them. I can't stop you from what you're believing.
Right,
But you
yeah.
don't say it.
No.
That's terrible.
So I was like, we don't need to be friends.
Yeah. That's
And-
like prejudice and racist all
Yeah.
mixed up in one terrible sentence.
And I was like talking about Israel in front of her. She goes, it's not Israel. And I was like, what? She's like, Palestine. I was like, oh. And I'm like, are you sure? Because like on the map it says Israel. She's like, no, it's not. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was a rough experience.
I bet, yeah.
Just for me, just because it's a big part of who I am.
Yeah.
And, so I kind of mirrored with the fact that it was really hard for me to get over that situation, but I still like tried to draw out positivity, but it was really hard, especially being a freshman and like not having friends and like trying to find your way. So that was me.
Wow. I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah,
Dang,
I mean,
that
it
sucks.
definitely like made me stronger, and it kind of made me more aware of what people believe. Like I can't just think like, oh, everyone's cool with it.
Yeah, this is like an easy trap to fall into. Like,
Yeah.
I found that like my opinions on a lot of things have changed since I've come to Western.
Oh yeah.
Like I know I've like told you guys about how my change on like how my views on homosexuality have
That's
changed.
what I've changed a lot of too.
Yeah, and so then when I'll go home, like this is kind of a little off topic, but I was
That's fine.
watching the Rose Bowl parade or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, there's like all these like female dancers or something like that in the parade, and I was like, wouldn't it be interesting if they also had some guy dancers out there too, doing the same kind of thing? And then I kind of like was getting teased a little bit for being all feminist and everything, and like I was just like, whoa, okay, I forgot. I'm not everybody agrees with what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
it's especially weird coming from family, you know. It's just like, okay, well, okay, I love you guys to death, but
Yeah.
different opinions, kind of weird.
And it's like really interesting with homosexuality. Like I'm very acceptive of it.
Yeah.
Kind of when I was younger, when I didn't really know what was going on, I was kind of like a little uncomfortable just because I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, and it
Which
was
is completely normal.
so different from what we had learned up until that point, you know? Like, we see, like, all our TV shows and everything with, like, the prince and the princess, you know?
Yeah.
But-
But now, like when I go and like I talk with my grandmother and I'm like telling her what's going on, she'll just be like, "Yeah, well, leave in that." Like old generations are kind of still stuck in that rut.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm really glad that we like passed laws and like we're trying to make a change, like love who you want to love.
Yeah.
Which I'm 100% down for. Who am I to judge who someone loves? But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so... yeah, so...
Any windows, please?
Oh, we got some windows like one right here.
Did you share your mirror?
I shared my mirror,
Yes, you did.
not my window.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so my window was going once again back to Cat with the Yellow Star. And like this, there's actually like two parts that just really stuck out to me. I was like, whoa, that's gonna, like, I hadn't really thought about that. Like there's the part where she was watching enviously and longingly as her friends carried like their book bags and soccer balls and stuff like that, and like it just kind of got me thinking like, whoa, what if I wasn't allowed to go to school? You know, like what if I was alienated like that? And it's just like that perspective, like, okay, I've never really gone through a hardship like that where I was denied something that someone else was allowed. And so it just kind of was an eye-opener, like, because like you relate so much to the main, like to Ella, right? Yeah. I can't remember I say like Elsa or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, so that was one thing. And then another thing that stuck out to me was how her mom became like one of the best thieves in the camp. And so that brought up the whole idea of like how
She shared it.
Yeah, and she shared it. So it's like, okay, stealing is wrong, but you have to look at the circumstances, and like she was doing it for the good of the people. So this is kind of like bringing up different morals in different situations that I hadn't really considered before, because like we kind of think like, oh, fundamentally stealing is a bad thing, you shouldn't steal, but she was stealing to help the people who really needed the help. So
And from the people who were like putting them in that situation to
yeah,
start with.
it's kind of like a Robin Hood kind of thing, you know, like. Yeah, so that was just kind of a little eye opener for me. Like, oh, okay, so like you really got to think about the situation and before you judge someone on their actions, you know. So yeah, that was my window.
Mine was really similar to yours, and it was to the cat with the yellow star. And I talked about how like they were forced from like their homes where they'd been raised, where they lived most of their lives, and like all their belongings were there,
Oh
and
yeah.
where they had like these once upon a time they had like these carefree lives. And I just thought like I can't even imagine like what it would be like to be forced from my home. Like I've lived in the same house my entire life.
Oh wow, yeah.
So like just the thought of like leaving is like, okay, I've made so many memories here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it would be just like very
Separation anyway.
Yeah.
It's dramatic, you know.
but
Okay, so my window was from wanting more, and I kind of took it from the perspective of family support. This book really showed me like the importance of having a positive parent or even an adult in your life.
Oh yeah.
Just because in this book she talked about how important her mother was for her and how she wanted to do things for her. She wanted to do the pots and wash them well for her mom. Whereas like for her dad, who took over, she was just very distant because he was just not someone she wanted in her life, and she realized that and how much it hurt her that her father doesn't need to be in her life.
You know, it's funny that that's to your window because I'm thinking back on that. That's like my mirror. Like it's so
That's
weird.
cool.
That's exactly how I feel with my parents. Yeah, like where like I'm going to school and trying to do a good job to like say thank you to my mom for everything that she's done. But then my dad left when I was in 6th grade, and so like he's been very distant from me my whole life. So my whole life since 6th grade, but you know, and then like we've been trying to kind of reconnect, but there's still just like this part of me. It's like, okay, you know what, you left. I have my own thing going now, so
that's
fun.
interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting connection. But I'm sorry, I interrupted
No,
you.
you're
Go
fine.
ahead.
No, I liked that. That was a good tidbit. But